Hi, everyone, and welcome to another fireside chat. My name is Shawn Melville, for those of you who may be tuning in for the first time. Currently, I am based in Kansas City. I am participating in a fellowship program that's currently sponsored by the US Department of State. It's really focused on supporting young entrepreneurs, and the name of the program is called Young Leaders of the Americas Initiative. So I've been paired with a US-based partner to sort of engage in a cultural exchange of ideas. And one of the things that I'm looking to do currently is to amplify the voices of innovative persons with disabilities, persons who are advocates in this space, to share their story. And so today, I have with me Arron and Rishi, who are entrepreneurs in their own right, as well as persons who are blind and who can share their story on how they have been thriving, living in the Caribbean, living in Trinidad and Tobago, and building their businesses. So I wanted to introduce you guys. Go ahead, Arron, tell them a little bit about yourself.
All right, so my name is Arron George. As Shawn Melville said, I am from Trinidad and Tobago. I am blind. I've been blind for about 20 years now. And I'm the CEO of a company called InnerSanctum Entertainment Limited. We do kids entertainment, we do event promotion and management, we do studio recording, we also facilitate content creation in the space of video, graphic designing, and yeah, that's pretty much it.
Excellent, Arron. Thank you for sharing. And Rishi, could you give us a brief introduction about yourself?
Hi, everybody. My name is Rishi Mack, aka BlueFox from BlueFox Production. I am the co-founder and CEO of BlueFox Entertainment. Here we do studio recordings as well. We do radio commercials, radio jingles. We do music for radio, film, and television. We do sound designing, sound engineering. We are also looking at a new project you all will be hearing about probably sometime to come. And I've been doing this for, commercially, I've been doing this for 3 years, but technically I've been teaching also for over 10 years. I'm 33. I've been teaching for 10 years, music production or more. I've been blind, which I really should have started with that first, but I've been blind since from birth. I've got my vision and then I lost it again. And so now I'm totally blind. And actually it's a challenge, but hey, I'm doing it. So yeah, that's just a bit about me.
Excellent. And so the both of you all are in the area of media production. And tell us a little bit about what got you started. Why media? Why sound engineering? Why sort of get into this field? What appeals to you when it comes to getting into this space?
We're gonna go with me first or Arron?
Yeah, go ahead, Rishi.
So why media? So a brief synopsis. When I was a little kid, I used to always love music. My grandfather was into music. My entire family was into music. But my grandfather was more so into music. So I ended up falling in love with music at the age of 3, 4, growing up there. And then I discovered that I loved computers when I was about 11. And after I was like, back then I did not know there was such thing as music production with computers and whatnot. And I was like, someday, somehow, I'm going to figure out a way to put computers and music together to make something and to bring something good to the media industry and to make a change and to also show that although I am visually impaired, we can also do something worthwhile and worth working towards, to bring something extremely well to the forefront. And, that's what got me started. However, the thing is, why you say, and one of the questions you asked was why media, right? The thing is, and the reason why I choose to go that audio route is because firstly, I'm visually impaired. Secondly, if you watch if you watch films today or any movie or whatever the case may be, you will know that there's no video that is complete without sound. You can have a movie and you can watch that movie and enjoy that movie. Sure, why not? But then when you add those background music and those sound effects there, it makes it so it makes it so much more lively. It makes it so much more storytelling, so much more captivating. And that is what I aim to bring to the forefront for me.
Thank you for sharing that, Rishi. And so that sort of passion, that sort of understanding of the impact that a good audio can have on anything, whether it's a movie, a music video, etc. These things, it does have a great appeal. And so I understand it's very, very important for any sort of quality production. And you, Arron, share a little bit about what got you started.
My story is a bit different from Rishi's in that I actually started and had intentions of going into the STEM area. My trajectory was geophysics, and due to a lot of different circumstances and people were missing and scholarships not being able to withstand the brunt of the negligence involved, I decided to teach music for a year and figure out what I wanted to do after that year. I was supposed to, well, all of my paperwork was deferred to the following year, but the scholarships were not. So on one hand, they're saying that you could come to and it was Purdue in Indiana, Lafayette, to do geophysics, and they said you could come through in a year time. You won't have to do any of the registration or anything like that because it was our fault that we kind of misplaced the information. But then all of these scholarships that I would have applied for and gotten through with for the previous year would not have rolled over. So the other year came around, and then, so said, so done. Everything just kind of fell through. And then I'd have been saving up my money because I always had intentions of doing something entrepreneurial. And I was teaching music, so I had music as a background, as something to always fall back on. And that's how I started. Essentially, it was the backup plan, and it worked out really well. In terms of, I had some friends who would have been into videography, who would have been into graphic designing. And I was like, guys, here's what, we could pull this together, start a company. And that's what we did. And here we are today.
Right. So that's actually really amazing because it shows you that sometimes you may have a particular plan in mind. You think you're going to go one direction, and then life sort of has a different plan for you. And so you end up pivoting, changing that direction. And now you're in a thriving sector, something that you're passionate about, which is media.
Okay.
Yeah,
Great.
that's just how it goes.
And it's quite interesting to sort of like connect the dots because you went from wanting to pursue a degree in geophysics and now looking to say, okay, I'm getting into media. And you even went further from simply saying, okay, I'm a music teacher, to like creating your own media production company. So I could imagine that must have had its share of challenges. Share with us some of those challenges that you would have overcome to become successful at what you do, right? Go ahead, Arron.
I would say diversification is very important. Early on, I realized that, the competition is very, very stiff in most areas, if we're being honest, because, everything is highly saturated. Jobs that would have been obscure before, now that we have so much information, everybody knows what's the good jobs and where to find them. And that includes all of the stuff in the entertainment industry. So my goal was to do enough that I could, I would say, consolidate capital or consolidate opportunities to form a feasible opportunity. So that's why, early on, I would have positioned some of the guys who came along with me to do like graphic designing, video editing, and stuff like that. I would have just advised them along the way, like, okay, you should do this, you should do this, you should do this. And I would handle all of the music stuff. And definitely diversification, and obviously, having some perseverance as well, because you would start in the entertainment industry is very, I would say, top heavy in terms of the visibility. You know what I mean? So the people who are most visible are the persons who make the most money, and that includes that involves advertising. So perseverance, being able to stick to it even when you're small, even when nobody knows you. Keep doing work, keep doing enough work that then people realize your value, and diversify. Do as much in the entertainment industry within your space as possible. So like within the music industry, as Rishi would have said, we would do like audio restoration, mixing, mastering, creating instrumentals, doing jingles and stuff like that. But then in the video space, we also want to do music videos and short films, documentaries, not just movies. You want to do sitcoms, you want to do different types of videos, inspirational videos and stuff like that.
Okay, so what I'm hearing, two keywords that I heard coming out of your response was that one, you must persevere, and the other is looking at diversifying what you do. And so you work with that, and that's what you attribute to a lot of the success that you have in this space. And I think that that's a wonderful lesson to learn. And Rishi, what are some challenges that you overcame in, or may in fact still be grappling with at this point in time? Tell us.
Some of the things that we grapple with, we are grapple with challenges. Some people tends to think that just because you're visually impaired or have some form of disability, um, they think that you know that's just all you can do. Probably just use a little phone, sit there and probably accept grants when you can. And there are, but really and truly, if we're being honest here, that like let me just say, I would say, and I think research always also showed that 70 to 75% of the people who uses internet has some some form of mental disability, some form of physical disability, stuff like that. But some of the challenges that I overcome was being able to. I remember a few years ago I applied with the qualifications that I have. I applied to a hardware store because I'm also a certified Microsoft Office specialist, where I can use Excel, Access, PowerPoint, Word, all these different things, right? And so I'm actually certified in that. So I applied, and they said, well, yes, you have the job. And so I carried in everything, and then there was like, no, they're not taking any job. But so I told them I had an appointment to meet with the manager today, and then they said like, oh, well, use the guy who's supposed to come in. And then I was like, well, yeah. So they now was like, so how are you going to do this job? So I proceeded to tell them, I mean, we don't need anything special. All we just do need is, let me just say JAWS for Windows, which is the screen reading software that I use. Well, which I used to use back then, but now I don't. I use NVIDIA because it's free and it's much more flexible when it comes to certain things. It's much more quicker to use. And they would be like, all right, cool, no problem. So don't call us. I'll call you. And so that's one of the thing. The other thing is with persons with disabilities, jobs out there in general are just so hard to find. And even w- even with being normal, a normal person, not that we are not normal, even though being with out any disability, it's hard to get jobs. And getting jobs is very hard. So what one of the challenges that I overcome is being able to create my own opportunity, create my own job, follow my career, follow my dream and my passion, and create a job for myself, when now I can work and I can say, yes, well, I'm making something of myself. This is what I do, this is what I can do, and this is how, this is some of the stuff that I overcome, if that makes any sense there.
Yeah, that makes a whole lot of sense. And so you shared very early on some of the challenges. And I think to a large extent, that has to do with people's perception of what someone with a disability can and can't do. And if you're sort of dealing with that type of stereotype in mind, where people think, okay, you're blind, what could you possibly do? And you haven't even gotten an opportunity to demonstrate your capabilities, then to some extent they are stifling your growth and development without even having any sort of reason behind it. And so it's definitely something that needs to be addressed. People need to be a lot more aware that you need to open the door, have that conversation with someone who has a disability, and so really give them that opportunity to demonstrate what they're capable of. You sort of even talked about how you overcame it, which I think is very similar to what Arron was saying, which is persevere. So you persevered, you found a way to demonstrate your capabilities. Even if you didn't get a job from someone, you still found a way. And I think that's important to recognize that, regardless of the situation that we're in, we all have to persevere and find ways of solving these problems. And I know Arron likes to talk about, persons with disabilities being problem solvers, because a lot of times you guys are probably even much better problem solvers than persons who don't have any disabilities. Right. So I want to just talk a little bit about the blind way forward. And I want to share, we've been talking about that for a little while. Could you just share a little bit in terms of what this could potentially do for persons who are visually impaired? How can it be of assistance to you guys?
I think one of the fundamental things that this would bring to the table is a bit of, I would say, broadband or realistic expectation and awareness in terms of, a lot of times people think what happens when you're blind is what happens when a sighted person closes their eyes. I just can't wait for the level of awareness and consistency that the Blind Way Forward would bring. People really need to realize that, we've been doing this for quite some time, and we didn't just close our eyes yesterday. And I think that's one of the biggest barriers, because, people just assume, okay, well, if I close my eyes, I can't do anything. Of course, you can't do anything probably for about 6 months, but then you're going to learn, and we've learned. And I think the Blind Way Forward is a really great tool that could be used for awareness, and a lot of times people who would have the situation where someone recently becomes visually impaired or blind, I think that is one of the most scariest times for friends and family, loved ones around a person. And the Blind Way Forward could really soften the blow as it relates to, making that transition, both for the person who has become visually impaired and for the caretakers around them.
Excellent. Thank you, Arron. And Rishi, any thoughts that you can share with us?
I think I think Aaron covered everything that that and what he said is everything that needs to be said. Yeah, just the blind way forward. I think we have the blind way forward here that would create some really good opportunities for them. And like I said, I don't need to say much because he already said it all. So yeah.
Okay, great. All right. So in closing, I want to ask you guys to just share one burning insight or one idea that you all think would improve the quality of life, improve the access to job opportunities, And let's focus in here on maybe even audio production and what types of jobs that persons who are visually impaired are really best suited for. Obviously, there's no single answer. So just shoot off the cuff, share some ideas in terms of what you think are some great opportunities that are low-hanging fruits, totally ignored by the general public, but could be of great support and assistance to persons who are visually impaired and within the current economy. Go ahead.
All right. I would say in terms of the one burning thing that I have realized up till this point, and then I would give the information about the ideas I have of opportunities for blind and visually impaired persons. The one most central important thing I would say is we have to trust people. You know, that is what we have to do as persons who have disabilities. We either trust parents or siblings or friends. I would say the most important person to trust is God, because he would put all of the right people around you. And without, if it is you don't trust someone, you know, you're going to run into issues at some point. In terms of the opportunities that lie, I would say within grasp, I would definitely say in the areas of coding, programming, well, obviously music, as we are well represented here today, web development, IT, like we have so much access on computers now. It is really amazing. I mean, there is still work to be done, but the opportunities are really, really getting to the point now where we can really function, thrive, and even compete and win in the area of computing. I would also, you know, talk about voice acting, script writing. There are so many opportunities in these areas now because we live in a, an era where media is so proliferating. And I mean, any part of it that you could get into would be amazing. And a lot of them don't depend on having sight. You know, you could be a voiceover actor. There are so many new animated movies and stuff like that coming out from different animation houses. There are voiceovers for ads. There are voiceovers for movies where they do descriptive audio and you just read a script. You know, copywriting is something that I know one of my colleagues is heavily into. And essentially what he does is create Facebook posts, create media posts, writing. All of these things are really accessible to us, and we could definitely grow and thrive in these areas.
Okay, great. And Rishi, do you want to add anything to what Arron just said?
So one of the things that I would say that that I would add to what Arron has said. He said, as he mentioned, the first thing to do is to be the trust in God, and that is what we should do, as well as you need to one thing that you need to do is trust in yourself. Be confident in yourself that you could do what you need to do to be successful. That's one thing that I should that I always try to tell people. Have that that confidence in yourself. Sometimes like, take for example, like me, I I like to do voiceovers. Aaron was just talking about voiceovers as well. I love doing voiceovers. One of the things that I'm actually overcoming right now is being able to sit there and record myself 11 times. Just to say that, oh, you know what, I could record this and make it sound really funny. And the best thing about doing that is once you could trust yourself to do what you need to do, overcome your fears of No, this sounds really, really stupid. It sounds really funny. You're not comfortable. You need to be comfortable. So you need to trust yourself. Have that confidence in yourself to do what needs to be done. The other thing is, um, um, you were talking about opportunities. For me, being in the place that I am, I'm also a programmer as well, which is something that I'm learning. One thing I've been able to do with that is being able to make a program accessible, which is called Virtual DJ, which we made accessible, which was one of my huge success. So we could do, and I said that so just to also show that we could do so many things. And as Aaron said, programming is one, IT is one, voice over acting, as he said. I would also add to that. I would also add that if you have the qualifications of a sound designer, or not just a sound designer, as a sound engineer in general, you can also work in a TV station. You can also work in the military. You can also work in a fire station, a police station. You can do all of these different things because they need sound engineer to. Sometimes you're going out. You have the people on the road. They are using walkie talkies, they are using different devices that needs to communicate. Sometimes what needs to be done is that they need to hear themselves properly, so you have to actually be able to adjust those frequencies where they can hear themselves to reduce background noise. That is just one of the things that you can do as well. Think about bands, like live bands that plays. You could get work doing that. If you are a programmer, you can actually be building websites. You can be be writing software. You can be still even working probably in a movie company, a TV company, because there are a lot of things. There are a lot of things that needs to be done and can be done with automation, with script automations, all of these different things. So yeah, there's a lot of things that you can do. You just need to look for it and work towards it. Put your mind to it, set a goal, and go and achieve it.
Right. Thank you, Rishi. So, the final things that I want you guys to share a little bit. If someone wants to get in contact with you, what sort of social media platforms or are you on currently? Share that with us.
All right. So I was waiting for Aaron to go first, but I say I would need to go first.
Okay.
If you need to contact me, one of the ways that you can do that is on Facebook. If you go to www.facebook.com/BlueFoxTT, that's facebook.com/BlueFoxTT. You can contact me via the page. You can contact me on Instagram. It's BlueFox Studio TT. BlueFox Studio TT on Instagram. My email is rm, that is Romeo Mike, .bluefoxtt@gmail.com. rm.bluefoxtt@gmail.com. And for bookings and inquiries in studio as well, you can also WhatsApp or call us at 1-868-314-4134. If you're international, you can still call 253-214-5534.
Okay, great. And Aaron, share your
Yes,
contact details.
I was just giving age before beauty, chivalry.
Yeah. All right.
So I am on Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, everything InnerSanctum. That's INNER Sanctum, SANCTUM. InnerSanctum. Sanctum is Latin for sanctuary. On WhatsApp and other phone-based Telegram and stuff like that, you can get me at 1-868-338-4123. And on email, that is info@innersanctumentertainment.com. That's info, INFO, at innersanctum, INNERSANCTUM, entertainment.com.
When I grow up, I want to be like you.
All right, gentlemen, thank you. Thank you so much for accepting this invitation to the Fireside Chat. For those of you listening, if you are looking to do any sort of audio production, whether it's creating your own beats or coming up with tracks, dealing with anything related to sound, and you guys could pitch in and share a little bit about what you guys do, reach out to Rishi and Arron. Okay, so that's it for today's fireside chat. Thank you guys for listening.